How's it going, everyone? Welcome to our May 2023 giveaway. I hope you liked that intro. That's a new thing that we recently put together. We're pretty proud of, starring Adam, one of our board members here. So, you notice a different background. I'm on a business trip, actually in Jacksonville, Florida. Not fishing, just working my ass off like normal. So if I seem a little out of it, because I'm a little out of it, but as usual, if you're tuning in live, feel free to leave a comment during the presentation. We got some cool stuff coming up that we're excited about, and I'm going to bring on my two board members, Carrie and Adam. Hey guys.
Hey Adam. Hey David.
Hey everybody.
How you doing?
Good.
We haven't really caught up very much lately. I feel like we've all been busy.
Well, getting through Cast It Forward, I think we all just had to take a breath and take a month to just breathe. So we're through that. We made some money, didn't we, Adam?
Yeah, for sure. So, pretty good result.
Yeah.
Enough to cover our operational expenses for the year, which is a primary goal.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
To fund our visit to ICAST, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But let's talk about what you've been catching. You guys been catching anything? You fishing?
Well, I've been fishing. Adam, I'm not sure if you have, just because I've had some different people get on my boat. Adam's usually on my boat, but for some reason, I've been fishing with other people. But yeah, we caught
You didn't break up, did you?
I'm the jealous type,
I don't like his hat. No, so we went out like 8 to noon a couple of days ago, caught some fish, but it really kind of slowed down. I mean, people weren't catching fish. Adam got reports afterwards, but we caught a lot of big flounder, David, which is, I mean, we could have kept 4 flounder, which is really unusual to be able to keep 4 flounder. We didn't, but we could have. That's what I'm saying. Probably could have kept 6 trout. Had a couple of, had 1 redfish, but the redfish bite doesn't seem to be on, but the trout bite and the flounder bite was just really on. And then at noon, it shut up completely. So,
So one of the cool things to come out of Cast It Forward was that if you were there, we had a conservation panel, one of which was the executive director of CCA South Carolina was Scott Whitaker was one of our guests, and he asked me to be one of the people to deploy the Star Tournament tags, which are it's done in 5 or 6 different states around the country, but you basically tag. I think they tag 100 redfish from everywhere from Myrtle Beach down to Beaufort. Quite a few are in Charleston. And the first 2 people to catch one that has the tag and they already have been signed up for the Star Tournament win a big prize. Like in Florida, I think it's a boat motor trailer. Like it's giant prize. This one's it's like a $4,000 ATV. It's pretty cool. But like you said about the redfish, man, I really struggled to find slot reds to tag. Like I get maybe one to 2 or 1 to 3 per trip. I felt like I was grinding for them.
Yeah, what's going on with that? I mean,
I'm convinced that the numbers are a fraction of what they were even 10 years ago.
Even
there's just not as many redfish around.
Adam, 2 years ago, that's all we caught was redfish. Now, Adam and I both, we probably go after trout more now because we just want to catch the, bigger trout. But as a byproduct, that redfish just aren't there this year like they used to.
It's a disturbing trend. But I'm going to bring on our Mississippi State Rep, Don Valius, and find out what's going on down there. How's it going, Don?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hey, Don.
I was just sitting here enjoying me some of that Firefly bourbon I brought back from my from Cast It Forward. I think it was a better time. It's been pretty good down this way. A lot of 20-inch trout being caught and a lot being put in the program by Mississippi. Looks like we're starting to pick it up. I think the word's getting around, and I just like to say thanks to all the Mississippi guys that's taking this conservation on themselves and imposing limits on themselves and being able to get these fish in the program. Huge shout out to all of them. Really much appreciated, and hopefully we're going to continue to add to those numbers.
Yeah, Mississippi had a great showing, and that's no doubt due to the work you're doing, Don. Appreciate that, and I hope to keep it up. And like the trend is great. The Upper Gulf Coast is showing up.
It's been really good. I don't know. One thing I believe, and it's my personal opinion, but I really believe it. Our trout hadn't pushed offshore yet. I think we didn't have the great spring rains, and we didn't have a lot of river flooding, no spillway openings, and nothing like that. And the salinity stayed fairly high close in. So, of course, they like that 15 and above parts per thousand to spawn, and it stayed there on the coast. And we still catching a lot of nice trout right on the beach, right on the front beach. They just now a few fish starting to show up offshore, but it's been usually end of May and June's on fire offshore. Right now, it's not so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's got a lot to do with the close salinity.
One thing that's kind of interesting, the data we get isn't like it wouldn't pass the test of being scientific, but it's anecdotal, I guess you'd say, and it's really cool that all of a sudden this month we had I can't remember, I'll pull it up a little bit, but like well over 20 flounder entered. And the month before that, it was just a handful. So what does that mean? That means that the big breeders came in from offshore, and they come in all of a sudden, like it's probably related to temperature, but they all came in, and suddenly, like, you follow some of the guides in Murrells Inlet, and they're like, should be any day now. And then next thing you know, you see everyone's catching flounder. So it's kind of cool. It's like month of May, I guess, is when they're coming back. And I've heard some captains who just have been doing it for a long time say that a lot of times it depends on when they open the shrimp season. If they open it late because of a cold winter, we'll have a pretty good flounder year. It's because those nets aren't dragging up the baby flounder or the bigger flounder coming in. It does make a difference. So I believe it's true. I really do. So get some comments coming in. It's fun to show. Yeah, so it was a pretty good month for entries. I'm going to pull up our stream here, and I wanted to again point out the Build Back the Boot program down in Louisiana. We've had now 2 full months, 2 out of 3 months, and the trend is fantastic, as evidenced by this. This was May's final results, and like Don was saying, Mississippi was actually second in the country, which is unheard of. That's by far the most entries ever in Mississippi.
That's awesome.
Secondly, with 36 entries for Louisiana, that's 5 times more than we've ever had. Like last month was 20 something. This month is 36. So the trend is like almost doubling. And the coolest part is that almost half of those were unique new anglers. So these are people that have never entered a fish before. They've heard about the program through Build Back the Boot, probably through John Miller's work and just getting the social media out there. Cliff's been posting on the big forums. So people are hearing about it. And then those, that's resulting in new angles. And that's one way that we really track ourselves, is how many unique anglers are there. That shows how much growth and reach that we have. And so that's really exciting. I think last month there was 8 new anglers, so it's doubled that again this month. So pretty cool. Wanted to talk a little bit about upcoming to ICAST. If I don't know, I don't remember our booth number, Adam. You don't happen to know it, do you?
Not offhand, but I can find it out here real quick.
We'll get it and we'll post it. We got some time beforehand, but if you're there, if you can get there, come and see us. We our spot is not bad. It's not on the very edge or the corner. It's kind of in the middle-ish. And
The middle-ish.
I don't know how else to say it. But, yeah.
No, I'm just glad that somebody uses the same kind of terminology that I use.
Y'all understood what I meant, though.
It's booth 4345.
Okay, yeah, 4345. So yeah, we're gonna have a little booth there. We're gonna be spreading the word, looking at try to sign up some sponsors and giving out stickers and all that good stuff. So I hope that we can see you there. I wanted to welcome Michael Collier. So Michael is a guy who reached out to us. He saw a talk that I gave locally in Charleston on the subject of catching big trout and why release over 20. And he thought on it for a while, and he decided he wanted to get involved and offer his help. And it turns out he's a specialist in web application development, which is something that we can really use. And he's already been helping us out, like with our website, trying to get things squared away and backed up. And I think it's really going to be great. So I just wanted to publicly welcome him to our team. Great guy. I'm sure you'll be hearing more from him in the future. And okay, so this is our exciting addition here. We have a new sponsor, Fish Feathers, and I'm going to turn it over to Harry to make an introduction.
So Alan Schultz, Alan, I guess you're on here. Alan and I, Alan reached out to me and wanted to be part of the Release Over 20, and we're actually neighbors. He lives just literally it's a crow flies maybe 5 miles away. But we've been fishing a couple different times, him and his brother, and then him and another guy. And he's a cool dude, got a great product. He stumbled onto this product like everybody does, like because he needed to in the fly fishing industry. And Alan, you can pick it up from here and tell us the story.
Okay. Well, I was out in Montana. I'm sorry, I got horrible light. Let me see if I can improve that. That's a little better.
Yeah.
So I was out in Montana fishing with friends on a trip, and I used to carry another product. I'll leave it nameless in my vest. Because like most fishermen, I'm lazy and I did a lousy job of cleaning my line when I had time at home. So I would carry this stuff in my vest, and it was notorious for melting. If it was anywhere even close to body temperature, the stuff would turn liquid. And so as it would happen that trip, it liquefied in my pocket. It was a warm day out in Montana. That little packet that it came in leaked, and it trashed my vest pocket and filled up my split shot dispensers and leader packets and everything I had in that pocket. And my buddies were with me, as a good fishing buddy would. They all had a great big belly laugh, and one of them referred to me as being an asswipe. So I took it in stride, but at the same time, I told myself, when I get home, I'm going to figure this out once and for all. I'm tired of having the same problem with this stuff. And so I got to work, and it took me, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. I finally got it to where I thought it would be a viable product. And so I decided I was going to have the last laugh on my friends. So I was sitting around the living room one night watching TV, and my wife was asking me, "What are you laughing about?" And I'm diligently working away with Microsoft Publisher, trying to come up with this fake label for a fake product at that time to send to my friends. So I took a picture, or I stole a picture of a laughing donkey, and put it on there and decided to call them ass wipes, because that's what they called me.
Mm-hmm.
And put a funny little story on the back and sent it to those guys unannounced, and had that laugh. But they actually used them and said, "You know what? These things are amazing. There's nothing like this. You need to sell them." And so I test marketed it a little bit, and came up with the product, which I think there's some in tonight's giveaway. But it's just a silicone impregnated fly line wipe that you can use to wipe down your line to clean, in this case for salt, for example, salt, minerals, anything that's in the water that would dry on the line and kind of kill its performance. There's a secondary benefit. If you're fishing with a floating line, it helps it stay nice and high on the water, so it's easy to pick back up and cast again. If you're fishing with sinking lines or mid lines, just having that thing being nice and clean and slick when you're in this area where everybody seems to be fishing, where you're casting longer distances and stripping line. When you're doing that, that line will tend to come back up, especially in warm weather. It gets a little sticky, and the line will tend to come back up and jam up in the first stripping guide on the fly. And I discovered, actually, freshwater fishing, but same thing, midsummer. I was streamer fishing, and one of my buddies was like, "Man, you need to get that line wet. It's it keeps bunching up on you." And I said, "Well, if it's a matter of just being wet to keep it lubricated, I'm going to wipe it down with my line wipes," and never had that problem again. So I've been discovering new uses for the stuff. Cold weather guys like it to keep lines from icing up and whatever. And I got a couple packages here, but I mean, they come in a little package. There's 3 in a package. They're individually wrapped, so it's really easy to use one at a time, and you can use them over and over again until they get grungy enough they're just not working well anymore, and then you go on to the next one. And so yeah, really simple idea, but something that will clean and put a silicone coating back on that line and have it performing and casting well and doing all the things that you really want it to do. You'll get an idea. I'll share the humor with you. In the first package, and this hasn't changed from the original package, this is a version of this is the new version of the original label, and that's more a version of what I sent my friends. And on the back, which is poking fun at them, but a few other things, it just says, sinking fly lines, lousy drifts, poor casts, don't look like an ass wipe in front of your friends. Get your line performing again by simply using these reusable wipes to clean and prep your line. And then there's a little tagline under it says, "Don't be an ass wipe, use one." So that's what I sent them. That's what I sent them originally, and I've just stuck with it. It is actually still a very popular label for us. We now have about, I think over 200 retailers around the country that are selling the product now, and it's just been a really fun project, and I like the personal engagement with the shop owners and people that work in the industry. So it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
Thank you, and thanks for being a part of Release Over 20. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we were having a little chat before we went live here, and I said, regardless of the weapon you choose to go out and fish, the concept's the same. And freshwater fishermen have been so used to the whole idea, especially trout fishermen have been used to the whole idea of catch and release, regardless of size. That's kind of a natural thing. But with this program, especially now, a year ago or whatever, year and a half ago, I moved to live on the salt water, where I'm now close to you, Carrie. Yeah. And, it's changed my perception of the fishery, and a lot of things. So it really has a lot of merit, and I hope if I can help, pull more fly fishermen into the group here, and just have everything grow from that end. I don't, as you well know, I don't exclusively fly fishing.
No,
But-
and I think David, you can probably, I mean, Adam and David both, but either one of you can probably say that we've gotten more and more fly fishing, interest.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say interest. It's just that we don't fly fish. David might do a little bit. Adam and I don't. Adam and I have talked about it, but yeah, I mean, I think David's noticed that there's more fly fishing, interest coming in. So,
Well,
Yeah, we've had
if
a
you guys
few.
ever want to give it a shot, you know a guy.
that's right.
That's right. Yeah, fly fishing's fun. I'm definitely going to take it up more in the future. When I have just a little bit more time, I kind of view
It's
it.
really relaxing.
Yeah, it's relaxing, and I kind of view mine like another tool in a toolbox. Like it's like
Yeah.
there's sometimes where like a redfish won't, if they're feeding on like little grass shrimp,
Mhm.
you will throw anything large to them, they just will ignore it. But if you put on
Right.
a little 1.5-inch fly, they'll kill it. And
Yep.
the only way to get something that small out to them is with the fly rod.
Yeah, because with a spinning rod, well, I mean, if you could put a big chunk of lead on to try to get you some distance, but if you do that, then the shrimp's below the feeding zone anyway, and then you're kind of
Yeah.
defeating the purpose. So,
Yeah.
well, yeah, sometimes it's a good way to go, but
Mhm. But yeah, it's like
actually, I'm traveling tomorrow and Thursday, or tomorrow through Thursday, and I already have all my stuff packed up, and I'm taking all my fly tying stuff with me. And one of the things I'm going to be doing is tying up a bunch of shrimp in various colors and sizes. So,
very cool. Yeah, well, I hope that just your involvement will encourage more fly anglers to sort of, help support the program and get the word out
Yeah.
amongst other people. I think in general, fly anglers are much more conservation oriented already because I think it's more about, the whole act of fishing and hunting, the like tailors and stuff.
Yeah.
And, it's not about
Yeah.
about having a meal. It's about just the whole experience. But still,
yeah, I
I
think
think
here in the Charleston area, I think it's kind of interesting just from following a bunch of the with Instagram, following a bunch of the fly fishing anglers in the area, and it appears that most of them are focused on, going out and fishing the tailing redfish in the grass. And I've not heard too much where anybody's fly wise is focused on fishing for trout. And I personally, between the two, I would rather fish for the trout. But I think it's just a lot more fun instead of just sight fishing to, tailing fish you can see. That's got its challenges for sure. Not taking anything away. I'd do it in a minute. But I don't know. Just me personally, I enjoy trout. I've always been a trout fisherman, freshwater, and being able to carry that over now to saltwater and fish for them here in the salt is just as pleasing to me as anything. So
yeah, this
What
big
what
trout
amazes
love to fly too.
What
Go ahead,
amazes
Don.
me with that fly fishing is I seen Matt Chipperfield's post. Jay Wright, man, with that fly, he is the sensei with the fly, man. He catches some world class trout on that fly.
yeah,
Yeah, do y'all know what he's talking about?
it just
I do.
I don't know him. No.
Matt Chipperfield's down here. I'm in Jacksonville right now, down here in Florida.
Yeah.
They have a place where there's some really big trout, and he guided a guy named Jay Wright to the 20-pound fly class world record speckled trout.
Wow.
11 pounds, I think, 30.5 inches.
That's cool.
Huge
That's
fish.
really cool.
Yeah, I think he set 2 records down there with Matt.
I think the second one wasn't with Matt, but he did get a second one.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, he thought it might even be the same fish.
Wow.
Well, I know they talked about that, man. But looking at pictures and stuff,
It's possible.
it's yeah. I guess it is possible.
There, I don't know how many there are. They're in there, but it can't be that many.
Yeah, just 2 weeks ago, I did something new for me. I was over in the, I was over near Mobile, but I went back over towards Pensacola and fished off the beach for pompano in the surf. And I just never thought of fly fishing off the beach before. And the guy who I was with, he owns a small shop over there in Daphne. Peter Jordan, and his shop, I think it's called Lost Angler. And I went out with him for an evening, and it was just a blast. I didn't catch a thing, but I learned a ton because to me, going to the beach, even the fish was, some guy pulling a cart with a cooler of beer and, throwing a line out in the water with 80 pounds of lead on it and then sitting there waiting for something to happen. And I just never even thought about it as an opportunity to go fly fishing. So it really opened up my eyes, and I learned a ton just in that one evening fishing with him. And I can't wait to go back. We're going to do it again for some other stuff too. So I get to work over in that area fairly often. So now when I go, I know I've got a place to go fishing that I just never even thought of doing it before.
Right, that's cool. There's a lot of people in North Carolina seem to do a lot of surf fishing with artificials, and some of them are throwing a flat rod, but pretty cool.
Yeah, I think for us it's difficult just because our water stays so shallow, so far out that it's just really a difficult thing to consider here around Charleston.
Yeah.
But, I guess if you get up to some of those other beaches where you get a little bit more of a drop off and have fish that'll come in closer to shore to feed in those troughs between sandbars and things like that, they'll hold more fish at certain tide levels. And I just never even considered that before. So now every time I go out and I look at saltwater, or I should say saltwater, but beaches, I'm going to be looking at the structure and the way the waves are coming in and understanding what is or isn't possibly there. So
yeah,
it's like I said, I learned a ton in one night.
Awesome.
Well, Alan, thank you so much for
Oh, you're welcome.
being a part of this. We really appreciate it. So
yeah, thank you,
Glad
Adam.
I
Alan, I appreciate it.
we do have some giveaways. We do have some giveaways to get through tonight. So and Fish Feathers will be a part of that for sure.
Cool. Well, look forward to fishing with all you guys soon.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Thanks.
All right. So, you know what? I forgot to include our results. So I'm on a laptop. It's going to be a little awkward for me to do this, but let me see if I can share a screen. Okay, let's see. Does that show up? Okay, yeah, that's our that is our angler leaderboard. So Tanner Dees from Alabama has just been on them. So, pretty cool to see. He's actually one of our guys that we sponsor in iStrike. Let's see if I can.
Okay, thanks.
Feel a little better?
Yeah.
Ron Lundvay, my friend from down here in Jacksonville, number 2. So it took looks like 4 trout or 4 fish entered to make it to the top 10 this month. So pretty good. That means that we didn't have anyone that was like really entering a ton. We had it was more spread out. So okay, let's try this again.
So the Virginia, I guess the trout are not. This isn't the time of year for trout in Virginia. Huh? It looks like North Carolina. It is. Virginia, it's not. Is that?
I was going to reach out to Virginia and say, y'all feeling okay? I did talk to Charlie Church, and he said that people just aren't catching many trout right now. Most of what makes them being elite is trout. And those trout are migratory up there, so they might have moved out of that area. For the most part, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's pretty light for Virginia. I was a little surprised.
Hmm.
All right, let's see. Oops. So I really apologize. This is kind of awkward, but let me see if I can hold up these.
Don can probably tell a fishing story or something. Oh,
Well, it's been hit and miss, mostly hit. We did have a miss yesterday, so
uh-oh.
that happens.
Oh, yeah, it does.
It's like deer hunting. You don't get them every time,
Yeah,
but you learn something every time.
that's right.
Are you waiting for him, Don, or do you fish out of a boat, or both?
Both. We waited yesterday. Didn't do real well. Had a few trout early that morning, but after that, it was a grind for zero.
So yeah, sorry for the delay. So here, this is our results. We had 235 trout, 25 flounder, and 11 sheepshead. So it's really cool to see those other species.
Dave, how does that 235 stack up on average per month? Is that a good number for? Is
That is,
for,
it's above average. It's
Above
been
average.
growing over time slowly. I think the most we've had has been 500, but anywhere in the upper hundreds to low 200s is about average.
Well, I would expect for us down here that our numbers will probably start tapering off as well. Hard to catch them fish when the water gets in them mid 80s up into the 90s. Those, it's like the little fish just take over. I don't know where them big girls go, but the numbers seem to decrease as the summer goes on.
Hey, Don, do you have a summer bite there where you can kind of get on a summer pattern where the fish are on the banks? Everything's on the banks, or is that just something that's
No, they don't get per se on the banks. They chasing the bait all over, and there's slicks popping up. You know, they just, when you see the bait and you see the slicks, you can get on them. Or you find it's kind of like you guys. You find a point where the water's moving. It'll stack up. That water's a little bit cooler if it's moving, and the bait will get washed around there, and they'll kind of stack up around those areas.
Okay. Well, I've just been kind of paying attention, and I call it the summer bite, and I really like the summer bite. Seems like you can always, doesn't matter when you go out, you're going to catch fish on that, on the oyster rakes drop off, that 6-foot drop off. But it seems like it just started, but then it just came to a halt at noon the last time I was fishing. So I keep waiting for that bite, and it's just not happened yet. So,
well, I always equate it to bass fishing.
I do too.
When you're not catching them, somebody somewhere is catching them.
That's right. Yeah, I agree completely.
Didn't figure it out that day, I guess. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah. Well, I think I needed you to tell me that, because I think I needed that reboost or something. So.
All right, guys, I wanted to show the guide leaderboard. Last week we had 8 guides led by Pamlico Point Charters. That's up in North Carolina. And then secondly was Coastal Waters, Kyle from Mississippi. And third was
Stephen Fluke.
Stephen Fluke, number 3, out of South Carolina. So pretty good. Stephen is a friend of ours, and he got on a wolf pack of trout with a topwater plug. Him and his charter, and I think they put 6 or 8 or more, maybe a dozen, over 20. Yeah, he's been on some pretty good trout.
Well, I bought that trip, so Pam and I are
with Steven?
Yeah, Pam and I are going to take that trip with Steven at some point.
Nice.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to to work this with one screen.
You know, one thing I wanted to say real quick is we've been seeing a lot of big flounder catches down here too. That's another thing we need to do. We need to get the flounder guys involved down here, getting those fish in, because boy, we have been having a super flounder season so far.
Don, I just told these guys before you came on that we could have kept 4 keeper flounder last time I went out, and that never happens. I mean, never.
Wow.
So
That's good.
we didn't keep them, but we could have. I mean, we had some good flounder catches, so I'm glad to see that at least. You know.
Sorry, guys. You got to keep it rolling here. I lost my presentation. I'm bringing it back.
Well, that's why we have Adam here. He keeps everything going.
Well, I just got to ask one question before. Did we get the kayak delivered?
Not yet.
It's on the calendar. 2
Yeah,
weeks.
Adam and I are going though, Don.
That's right.
Adam and I have it scheduled for what? Adam 21st, right?
21st, yeah.
And we're gonna go fishing, and Kyle, who won the kayak, gave us the option of either catching Goliath grouper or trout. So I'll leave that up to Adam. We'll do whatever he wants to do. Adam bought me a trip to catch catch stripers. So
Go get you one of them big groupers. Go get one of them giants.
Yeah, you got to get the Goliath.
Get the giant.
It's not trout time right now.
all right.
All right, so let's do the giveaway. So first one is flounder.
I don't even know if I even need to do this, but that's a fantastic art design. I think that thing went for $110 when we did the Cast It Forward event. I think it was the sheep's head that went for $110, but this guy is a fantastic sponsor and a really, really good artist. He draws these. He catches them, then he draws them. So this is obviously a flounder that he caught.
That's pretty picture.
Yeah, it's a $75 value is what he calls it, but it went for $110, I think, at the auction. So
That's nice.
So I'm going to go through all 4 of these because, and just in case I lose this thing again, and then we'll do the giveaways. Sound good?
yeah.
So here's the sheep's head.
Yeah, and then there's your fish feathers. So fish feathers hat, fish feathers wipes with the emblem, a couple other things, Carolina boat wash, and their mosquito and repellent spray, twitch fish. And then we've got this one for these. Is that the captains or is that just the trout? That's trout. So we've got this one is Hook, Rayos, Z-Man, Slam Shadies, Slick Lure. Thank you, Greg. Mirror Lure.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And then lastly,
And that's actually not a bad one right there, though. That's the captains. That we got 2 different packages of Slam Series Shady, Slick Lure. Got 2 or 3 different logos, stickers. We've got a Mirror Lure, got David's Eye Strike, got the Incognito mosquito spray, Mud Minnow. Mud Minnow, thank you so much for doing what you do. He's been awesome, by the way.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks to them and all our sponsors for letting us give these away. It's
Yeah.
fun. It feels kind of like Santa Claus.
Yep.
All right, so let me share my screen again.
I sure am glad to see them slicks in there because that slick junior's been on fire down here.
Has it?
Yes, our shrimp are just about the size of that little slick, and that little slick with a 1/8 and a 1/16 ounce jig head has been putting them in the boat.
Hey, Don, will you tell me? I've got those, but will you tell me exactly how do you fish those? Because I'm not sure I know. I mean,
Okay,
what's retrieval?
let's let Dave get through his presentation.
Okay.
No, keep talking, please.
Looks like he's ready.
I'm not ready.
I usually just throw a 1/16 or a 1/8 ounce jig head on them, and I kind of swim them, and I'll
Okay.
put an erratic twitch on them every now and then, and kind of mimic a shrimp with them hopping around, and boy, it's been really, really, really good on that slick junior right now.
So do you because I don't know how a shrimp swims, do you pause him and let it fall? Pick it
Yeah,
up?
he'll just twitch. You just twitch him and let him fall a minute and twitch him. A shrimp
Okay.
kind of swims backwards like this,
Uh-huh. Yeah, like a
and you just kind of
crawfish.
mimic that movement.
Okay.
And it's been super good, especially the one in the croaker color. That croaker color has been really good.
Okay.
All right, guys. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna show the entries, and then I'm going to off screen do the random drawing. I hope you guys trust me by now after 2 years, and I'm gonna do it this way. I'll call out the numbers, and then we'll just check on who it is. All right.
Okay.
That's my only way I can figure this out. So, all right, let's see. Okay. So we had actually 31 get on board entries. So these are, you can see Stephen Fluke and Kyle Johnson both have a whole bunch of their clients. Actually, it's a few clients that caught a ton of fish, but it's pretty cool that they'll, whoever wins this will have a chance to give this package to their client just for participating. So 31. So I'm going to go over here to random. I'm going to choose the winner out of 31. And the first roll is 28. Second is 28, and the third is 8. So,
All right, Alabama.
what am I doing here? Are we still going? Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
There we are. Phew.
What are you guys-
It was 8, right?
Yeah. It looked like somebody from
Tanner Dees.
I'm picking you up in Atlanta airport.
Who is it?
Tanner Dees.
It was Tanner? Okay.
We're gonna have so much fun. Ew, your teeth are in.
Oh, it's such a hassle.
It looks great.
Okay, Tanner. Congrats, Tanner. Let me highlight him here. Number 8. Okay, next we had sheep's head. We had 11 sheep's head.
Are you excited about your trip?
And out of 11,
Are you excited?
first roll will be 8.
Yeah.
Next is 1, and the winner is 3. So that is Daniel Wong from Texas
Cool.
I just got them back.
with a 20-inch sheep. Very good.
What's back there?
Next we have 25 flounders.
He is on his release over
And the
20.
first roll is 25.
Well, it's sort of-
Next one is 25, and the winner is 22.
You caught the fish. so-
It's Brian Brumbaugh from South Carolina. 24-inch flounder. That's a big one.
So it can live.
That is a big
Your
one.
name is entered into it.
Very cool. And then last winner will be out of 219.
Oh my gosh, they have so many cool prizes. They
First roll is 48. Next is 49. Winner is 125.
Drawings from artists. So isn't that cool?
Is Tanner again.
Wow.
Wow, unreal.
Crazy.
He needs to play the lotto.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Powerball. Powerball.
crazy.
Well, you know what? It goes to show you enter a lot of fish. You got a good
Yeah.
chance. Tanner was our number one angler.
Alabama. Sweet home.
He'll be pretty stoked about that. I can't wait to tell him.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, really cool.
Lady that,
So I'll get in touch with the winners, and we'll get those out. Carrie, did you have a chance to drop those off by chance?
No, my builder came over, but I'll run them over there tomorrow.
Next few days is fine.
Yeah.
All right. Any parting words?
No, Don, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah,
Same
good to see
here,
you,
same
Don.
here, guys. Tight lines, all I can say. Keep plugging.
Okay.
For sure. Tight lines.
Appreciate your time, Don, and everything you're doing.
Sure,
Yeah.
no problem.
Thanks
You
for
guys have a
everything.
Good afternoon.
All
All
right.
right, guys. We'll
See
be in
y'all.
touch. See ya.